Welcome back to Naveen Tech Hub. In this video, we are going to learn one of the most common system design interview questions, how to design a URL shortener like TinyURL. But when we think from a system design perspective, there are many important questions. How do we generate a unique shortcode? How do we redirect users quickly? How do we avoid duplicate short URLs? How do we scale this system to millions or even billions of links? In this video, we will go step by step. First, we will understand what we are building. Then we will define core requirements. After that, we will look at two common approaches for generating shortcodes, hashing and counter plus Base62 encoding. Then we will write simple Python code. Finally, we will discuss how to scale this system like a real production application. By the end of this video, you should be able to explain this design clearly in an interview. Let's first understand the problem statement. We are building a service that takes a long URL and converts it into a short, shareable URL. For example, imagine we have a long URL like https://www.example.com/blog/2025/how-to-learn-Python-fast. This URL is long, difficult to remember, and not clean for sharing. Our URL shortener converts this into something like tiny.ly/az9k1. Now, when the user clicks this short URL, the system should automatically redirect the user to the original long URL. So the basic flow is very simple. Step 1, user gives a long URL. Step 2, system generates a short code. Step 3, system stores the mapping between short code and long URL. Step 4, when someone visits the short URL, the system looks up the shortcode and redirects to the original URL. This is the core idea. But in system design, we should not stop at the basic idea. The interviewer wants to see whether we can think about uniqueness, scale, performance, storage, caching, and reliability. A URL shortener is simple to use, but surprisingly interesting to design at scale. Before designing any system, the first step is always to clarify requirements. In an interview, never jump directly into coding or architecture. First, define what the system should do. For this URL shortener, we have a few core requirements. First requirement, shorten URL. Given a long URL, the system should generate a short URL. For example, if the user gives a long blog link, we return tiny.ly followed by a unique shortcode. Second requirement, redirect. When someone opens the short URL, the system should redirect them to the original long URL. This redirection should be very fast because read traffic will usually be much higher than write traffic. Third requirement, uniqueness. No two different URLs should accidentally get the same shortcode. If two URLs get the same code, then the system will redirect to the wrong destination. That is a serious issue. Fourth requirement, scale. The system should handle millions of URLs and many more redirect requests. In real systems, creating short URLs may happen less often, but redirecting can happen very frequently. Fifth requirement, optional features. We can support link expiry, click tracking, analytics, custom aliases, user accounts, spam detection, and rate limiting. For a beginner interview answer, we can first focus on shorten and redirect. Then we can mention optional features if the interviewer asks for extensions. This is a very important interview habit. Start simple, then scale. Now let's discuss the heart of the whole system. How do we generate the shortcode? There are two common approaches. The first approach is hashing. In hashing, we take the long URL and pass it through a hash function. The hash function generates a fixed length output. Then we take part of that output and use it as the shortcode. This sounds simple and fast, but the problem is collision. A collision means two different long URLs may produce the same shortcode. For example, URL A and URL B may both generate the code ABC123. If that happens, our system does not know which original URL to redirect to. To solve this, we need collision handling. We have to check the database. If the code already exists, we need to regenerate the code, maybe with a salt or retry strategy. So hashing is simple, but collision handling adds extra complexity. The second approach is counter plus Base62 encoding. This is a more reliable and interview-friendly approach. Imagine a bakery ticket system. Every customer gets a unique ticket number, 1001, 1002, 1003, and so on. Since every number is unique, there is no collision. Similarly, for every new long URL, we generate a unique number from a counter. Then we convert that number into a short string using Base62 encoding. Base62 uses 62 characters, digits 0 to 9, lowercase a to z, and uppercase a to z. Because every counter value is unique, every generated shortcode is also unique. This is why counter plus Base62 is commonly preferred in real-world URL shortener design. So in interviews, you can say, for shortcode generation, I will use a distributed unique ID or counter and encode it using Base62. This avoids collisions and keeps the short URL compact. That is a strong system design answer.
Now let's understand the Base62 encoding code. First, we define our Base62 character set. It contains digits, lowercase letters, and uppercase letters, so we have 62 possible characters. The function encode Base62 takes a number as input and converts it into a short string. Let's understand the logic step by step. If the number is 0, we directly return the first character from the Base62 alphabet. Otherwise, we create an empty string called shortcode. Then we repeatedly divide the number by 62. This is very similar to converting a decimal number into binary. In binary conversion, we divide by 2 because binary has only 2 symbols, 0 and 1. Here, we divide by 62 because Base62 has 62 symbols. Each time we divide, we take the remainder. That remainder tells us which character to pick from the Base62 alphabet. For example, if the remainder is 5, we pick the character at index 5. If the remainder is 61, we pick the last Base62 character. Then we add that character to the front of the shortcode. After that, we update the number using floor division by 62. This continues until the number becomes 0. Let's take the example from the slide. Encode Base62 of 125 gives us 21. Why? 125 divided by 62 gives quotient 2 and remainder 1. Remainder 1 maps to character 1. Now number becomes 2. 2 divided by 62 gives quotient 0 and remainder 2. Remainder 2 maps to character 2. So the final code becomes 21. This is the beauty of Base62. It can represent large numbers using very short strings. That is why it is perfect for URL shorteners. Now let's combine everything and build a mini URL shortener in Python. We create a class called URL-shortener. Inside the constructor, we define 2 things. First, URL database. This is a dictionary where the key is the shortcode and the value is the original long URL. For example, G8 maps to https:/example.com/some long URL. Second, we define a counter. In this example, the counter starts from 1000. Now let's look at the shorten method. When a user gives a long URL, we pass the current counter value to the encode Base62 function. That gives us a shortcode. Then we store the mapping in the dictionary. Shortcode points to long URL. After storing it, we increment the counter by 1. Finally, we return the short URL, like tiny.ly/G8. Now let's look at the redirect method. The redirect method receives the shortcode. It checks the dictionary. If the shortcode exists, it returns the original long URL. If the shortcode does not exist, it returns URL not found. This is the basic working model of a URL shortener. In a real production system, we will not use an in-memory Python dictionary because the data will be lost when the application restarts. Instead, we will use a real database like DynamoDB, Cassandra, PostgreSQL, or Redis, depending on the scale and access pattern. But the core logic remains exactly the same. Generate unique ID, encode using Base62, store shortcode to long URL mapping, redirect using lookup. That is the complete foundation. Now let's move from beginner code to production-level system design. This is the slide that separates a junior answer from a senior answer. If we want to scale this system to millions or billions of URLs, we need to think about database, caching, distributed counters, and load balancing. First, database choice. For redirect, we mostly do key-based lookup. Given a shortcode, we need to quickly find the original long URL. So a key value database is a very good choice. Examples include Redis, DynamoDB, Cassandra, or any highly scalable key value store. The key is the shortcode. The value is the long URL and metadata. Second, caching. In real systems, not all links get equal traffic. Some links may become very popular, like marketing campaigns, viral posts, or product launch links. So we can cache popular shortcode mappings in memory. For example, Redis can store frequently accessed links. This reduces database load and improves redirect speed. Third, distributed counters. In a single server system, one counter is easy. But in a distributed system, many servers may create short URLs at the same time. If all servers use the same counter without coordination, duplicates can happen. One solution is to reserve number ranges per server. For example, server 1 gets IDs from 1 to 1 million. Server 2 gets IDs from 1 million to 2 million. Server 3 gets IDs from 2 million to 3 million. This way, each server can generate unique IDs independently. Another option is to use a distributed ID generator, like Snowflake-style IDs. Fourth, load balancing. We should place a load balancer in front of multiple application servers. The load balancer spreads incoming requests across servers. This prevents one server from getting overloaded. For redirects, we should also design for low latency. A typical production flow can be user clicks short URL, request goes to load balancer, application server checks cache. If cache has the mapping, redirect immediately. If cache misses, query database. Store result in cache. Return HTTP redirect response. This is how we move from simple Python code to real-world production architecture. Let's quickly recap what we learned. A URL shortener maps a long URL to a shortcode. When the user clicks the short URL, the system finds the original long URL and redirects the user. For shortcode generation, hashing is one option, but it can create collisions. A better approach is counter plus Base62 encoding. The counter gives us uniqueness. Base62 gives us a compact and readable shortcode. We also implemented a mini version in Python using a dictionary. In production, we replace the dictionary with a real database and add caching, load balancing, and distributed ID generation. For interviews, always explain this in layers. First, requirements. Second, basic design. Third, code logic. Fourth, scaling strategy. Fifth, optional features like expiry, analytics, and rate limiting. This structured answer will make your system design explanation much stronger. That's it for this video. Now you understand how to design a URL shortener like TinyURL from scratch. We covered the basic problem, requirements, Base62 encoding, Python implementation, and production scaling strategy. In the next video, we will continue with another important system design topic, rate limiter system design. If this video helped you, subscribe to Naveen Tech Hub for more beginner-friendly, interview-ready system design and coding tutorials. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.